Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. My guests today are from the upcoming Young Footliters production of Penguin Goes to Flight School. And welcome Ella Schmitz. Hi, Ella. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again, too.
Lucy Polyak.
Hello, hello.
And Keegan Colletta Huckfeldt.
Hello. Thanks for having us,
Yeah,
Dennis.
nice to have you all here. So, Keegan, this is kind of a new program for Young Footlighters. I know you had the Imagination Studio production that we talked about a few months ago, but start with the big picture. Tell us about Young Footlighters for those who aren't familiar, and then zero in on what this particular series does.
Yeah, absolutely. So Young Footlighters is a children's theater program that's existed for 50 years, which is no small feat. We know that. It's been doing amazing things, and then over the last 5 years, it's really started to take some steps into growth and seeing what gaps exist in terms of educating kids and families alike from a theater perspective, but just from a whole world perspective. So that includes adding all sorts of other camps and classes rather than just a summer camp program, but year-long camps and one-off camps that happen throughout the entire year. They can find those at coralvillearts.org. And then this past year, we launched a program called Footliters Imagination Studio. It kicked off in the fall with Charlotte's Web and then finishes its first season with Penguin Goes to Flight School. And like you said, Dennis, it is a program designed with professional adult actors putting on shows meant for kids, including the time limit of the shows as well as the subject matter of the shows. And then we're trying to create a full experience for them. So there's an engagement surrounding it, a chance to meet the cast, some take-home activities so that families can continue to have conversations about the story they watched while at the show, and hopefully inspire imagination and creativity amongst these kids.
And this is a great feeder program coming into your other programs because a child comes and sees a fun show and then they learn that they can do a summer camp and put on their own show in the summertime, then you got them on board.
That's exactly right. And if I'm being honest, my goal for this program is to help young footlighters get kids started when they're at 2 or 3 years old coming to witness the show and have something that can engage them all the way through high school and beyond.
So the play is Penguin Goes to Flight School. Who wants to give me the back of the paperback summary of what it's about?
It is a delightful little story about a penguin who just really wants to fly. It's his dream. It's in his heart. And so he goes to flight school to be taught with all of the other birds how to fly. And when he gets there, there's definitely some struggles. A couple of the birds aren't very kind to him because they're like, oh, penguins can't fly. Don't you know that, silly little bird? But he ends up persevering and working together with his friends to make his dream come true.
And what's your role in the show, Ella?
I play the penguin.
Oh, you're the penguin. Okay. So no spoilers as to whether the penguin actually flies or not. You'll have to attend to find out whether what happens at the end. Lucy, what's your role in the show?
I play the teacher at flight school, and she's a flamingo. It's very fun.
Oh, yeah. You're a little flamboyant.
Oh yeah, very over the top.
I'll bet you have a fun costume too.
Lots of feathers, lots of pink, a wonderful little hat. It's a whole thing.
Were either of you familiar with this story before you got the script for the play?
I definitely had this picture book read to me as a child, and so it was a wonderful little reintroduction to the story when I got the script, and I had a moment of realization where I was like, oh wait, I remember this, and I remember loving this, and it was just so wonderful to be able to be a part of it again.
Isn't it fun to be able to revisit something that you remember when you were really little?
Absolutely.
Lucy, I know there are some special shows and some different things for differently abled attendees. You can tell us about that?
Yeah, totally. We are really excited about this program because we are able to present the show in so many different formats, and one of those formats is the Saturday morning performance. So that is March 22nd at 10 a.m. We will be performing a sensory-friendly experience, which basically just means it is more relaxed conditions than your average theater-going experience that you can maybe imagine in your mind. So we'll have the lights at about half setting in the house or the audience so that parents can keep an eye on their kids, and kids can feel a little bit more safer, not totally being in the dark. Sound cues will be brought down, and everything will just be, presented in a way that is meant to provide an accessible and comfortable theater experience for anyone who wants to come see our show.
Yeah, we often think of these sensory shows as being for for children and attendees along the autism spectrum, but anybody whose kid tends to get up and maybe run around or wiggle a little bit or is scared of the dark
Absolutely.
is, this is the perfect thing for that.
100%. 100%.
It's easy, Keegan, to say, oh, theater for kids, we really only have to, use about half our effort on this because they're not going to know the difference. But that is not the case.
That is not the case. Honestly, I think it takes more work to it. Most of Theater for Young Audiences or TYA titles are based off of literature, which is amazing. We love that component to it. But man, I'll tell you, these musicals have really hard orchestrations in them and harmonies. It is shockingly hard, some of the stuff that comes into them. And being able to create a story that allows the kids to come along the imagination journey with you and give them the credit that they're due to have complicated storylines is really important. And it's something I'm really proud of this cast for all of the work that they've done and getting to put this forward so the kids get to have that full-throated experience that all individuals deserve.
Do you two agree music was maybe tougher than you thought it was going to be when you signed up?
It was one of those things where, yes, you can go into something assuming that, oh, it's for kids, it's going to be super straightforward, when in reality it is almost so difficult that we are trying to make it seem easy and make it seem natural and make it seem like, oh, we haven't even thought at all about it. And that process, I would say that is the most difficult part of learning the music.
Making things look easy is sometimes the most difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part of the show?
I know my favorite part, but it might be a spoiler.
Oh, well, we don't. Well,
My favorite part is there is a character who is our villain, because of course stories all have that play out, right? But this story truly is about everybody coming together and working together to achieve something, and that villain becomes like the linchpin of making everything happen. And the rest of the family of birds really takes that villain in. And I think that that's a lesson that we all can use right now, is the feeling of we all need to work together.
Lucy, anything to add?
Oh, I would just say one of my favorite things, I won't completely spoil this yet, is the props that we get to use in this show. It's worth the price of admission alone.
The play is Penguin Goes to Flight School, March 21st and 22nd at the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts. And after the public run, Keegan, you're going to tour this around to elementaries, yeah?
That's exactly right. In April, we're going to go to all of the Coralville area elementary schools. And if there are other schools that are interested, please make sure to reach out to us. You can find our contact information at coralvillearts.org.
And speaking of that website where there's more information, that is also a place where people can go to maybe not only learn about this show, but maybe future shows, get signed up for summer camps. It is not too early. At the time we're taping this, it's going to be 70 degrees today, so it's not too early to be thinking about summer camps.
That's exactly right. And get on our mailing list. That way you can see all of the great opportunities that are coming up for kids. Those summer camps are starting to fill up fast. But if you want a 1-week experience where your kid comes in, auditions, is guaranteed a part, but learns the entire show and performs that Friday night, we're the place to join.
Again, it's Young Footlighters. You can find more information at coralvillearts.org, and Penguin Goes to Flight School coming up March 21st and 22nd. Good luck with it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Dennis.
You can hear The Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.